I just think right now, women, especially in business, this is the year of women. I just know that.
Life begins at 150 grand a year. Life gets better at 250 and life gets real good at 500. Nobody can tell me differently on it.
When you start teaching something, I feel like that's when you start to master the actual art of it.
You and I, when we publish a book, we can go toe to toe with any of the New York trade publishers, any of the big time authors. We get to compete in that marketplace and then let the market decide whether our stuff is good.
People forget sometimes as an entrepreneur, the whole damn point of entrepreneurship is to make money.
And now here is The Win with your hostess, serial entrepreneur, marketeer, and chief sexy boss, Heather Havenwood.
Have you ever wanted to stop the 9-to-5 grind and start your own business? Then now is the time to start and grow a business. Hi, I'm Heather Havenwood, and as a female entrepreneur and business coach, I can help you double your income and triple your time off. My gift to you today is a free one-on-one strategy session with me personally. Go to coachwithheather.com. That's right, go to coachwithheather.com. Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Win with Heather Havenwood. I might be changing that name to The Winning Entrepreneur, so if all of a sudden that changes, don't worry about it. My name is Heather Havenwood. I'm super excited to have you here. As you know, I focus on helping men and women, entrepreneurs, coaches, service providers explode their business online or offline, really focusing on the marketing and sales strategy. So today I have someone on the phone. No, wait, we're not on the phone anymore. We don't have phones anymore. Do they even exist anymore? Is Jason. Jason, are you on the line?
I'm here. Hello.
And so we're also video. Yeah, phones. Did I just say phones? I might as well just say cassettes.
There we go. 8-tracks.
Oh, 8-tracks. We just will say beta, 8-tracks, VHS. If you're a millennial, you have no idea what I'm talking about. Don't worry about it. It's all good. You were born in the right generation. I have Jason M. Silverman on the line. He's an entrepreneur, marketing expert, and coach, as well as a martial arts master instructor. Oh, can we just talk about that?
You can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
That would be awesome. You're a sought-after speaker. Whenever I see the word sought-after speaker, I kind of have this visualization of a bunch of people running after you. Is that how it works?
All the time.
All the time. You have a bunch of chicks.
Normally, though, it's my 7 and 8 year old running it. Yeah.
You have an adorable family and a beautiful wife who is awesome as well. So he is the CEO of Powerful Awards Character Development and co-founder of All Star Cheer Sites and founder of the 7-Figure Formula Mastermind Group. Is known for his no BS yet supportive approach to helping entrepreneurs and their businesses to thrive. So thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So you can check him out at jasonmsilverman.com. Okay, so you and I have known each other for a long time. When I got started in podcasting, you were one of the first people that interviewed me. Was that vice versa for you too? I think so.
You were like one of the first, I think, 20 interviews I did. It was fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then we just just recently reversed it again, and you interviewed me on chatbots and on your podcast.
Amazing information, by the way.
Plug your podcast real quick.
Oh, The Real Deal with Jason Silverman. Grab it now. It's free.
It's really good. I actually did. When you reached out for chatbots, sometimes when I have like a specific thing I'm focusing on and someone reaches out to me and they want to interview me, I'm like, okay, that could have been a webinar. You know what I mean? It was a podcast, but I just like,
there was so much that you shared so much that, and I had a lot of questions about it. So like I left with just a plethora of information to go through. It was awesome.
Yeah, so go check out his podcast, The Real Deal Podcast, and then type my name in too and come together and subscribe.
You'll get both.
You'll get both. And he's a great interviewer. Okay, so all right, let's talk about what's working. So I just want to get the construct and kind of get the view of what you do for people. I'm going to kind of create the structure, and I want you to also tap in here. You specifically focus on, one side of your business is cheer. What's it called? What do you call it? Cheer companies?
Cheerleading, gymnastics, dance. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a very specific niche, and it's very unique, right? Because you're dealing with women owners usually. You're dealing with 13-year-old girls all the time, right? And all the drama, and moms. They're probably dealing with a lot of moms. They deal with different kinds of challenges than most entrepreneurs. Would you say that?
I would. Although, let's face it, right? You have a business, you've got challenges. So the goal, many of them who start coming to me come with their third world problems. And this, I think these third world problems are standard regardless of the business you're in. I don't have leads. I don't have enough money. I don't know where to get my next client. And my goal for each of them is to transform those third world problems into first world problems. Gosh, what do I do with all this money? Where do I find new staff? I've grown out of my facility. How do I find the next one? How do I franchise prototype my business so that I can grow and scale faster?
I love that. I'm going to steal that from third world problems to first world problems. Officially stolen. Okay, that's really cool. So when you're dealing with entrepreneurs in general, and you deal with mainly women, right? I'm assuming.
No, I've probably 50-50. I have a lot of female clients, but we also have a lot of male clients.
Interesting. Within the cheer world?
Absolutely.
Wow, that kind of fascinating. I didn't know that. Do you deal with anybody in the martial arts world as well?
I do.
Okay.
And obviously through Powerful Words Character Development, the largest segment that we work with is the martial arts world.
Okay. That makes way more sense. Okay. So it's a focus on local business. So what would you say right now is one of the biggest challenges that local businesses in general are dealing with?
Crappy marketing.
Yeah.
Crappy marketing. I think that I still have people saying, hey, I want to make a nice flyer to hand out. Or, gosh, what's the least expensive way I can get a newspaper ad? Where I'm like, oh, it's 2018. 2018. Why are we, the 90s called, they want their marketing back.
Right.
I see a lot of that. And, a major problem because of that is there's a lack of leads. Mm-hmm. Right. When I first went into the cheer world, they didn't even know that a lead was a thing. It was basically somebody mistakenly happened to show up in their gym, and then they kind of grabbed onto them and basically wouldn't let them leave until they joined. And then they tell me, well, I don't have a problem because everybody who comes into my gym joins. Well, right. But that's only been 2 in the last 3 years. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So how do you get consistent leads over time so that they can have consistent sales and increase their revenue?
Correct. I mean, we focus a lot on, the digital marketing side of things, and how do we take somebody into that 20th, 21st century of really there is an automated way to do this, and then add the actual live engagement portion of it so that you become a real person to these people.
Who do you think is really the market for, not for your business, but for their business? Who really are you selling to?
Who are they selling to?
Yeah. Who are your gyms selling to?
So my gyms really have 2 clients, right? And this is another differentiator between the after school activity world and the general entrepreneurial space. The after school activity world has 2 clients, right? They've got the client of the athlete or the child themselves, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you can't engage, if you can't teach, if you can't bond, if you can't have them enjoy themselves, they're not staying.
Right.
And the one who actually holds the credit card, right? So again, most people F that part up something fierce because they're great with kids, but they're dreadful with adults.
Right.
Or they're great with adults and they're dreadful with children, which is really a nail in the coffin. Most folks will forget the importance of the experience. So what I tell everybody is what you're selling isn't what you think you're selling. I'll ask people all the time, what business you're in? I sell cheer. I sell dance. I sell martial arts. No, you don't. You don't. If you did, it'd be a very short-lived product. They'd come in, they'd get the thing, and they'd leave, and that's it. What you're selling and what your true product is the actual feeling they get when they go from your facility to their car. That feeling in their mind, in their heart, in their body, their soul, that is what you're selling because that lasts forever.
So this is great. I just had this conversation with one of my clients she's like, what she said to me, and this is the same thing. I'm going with it. She said, I'm a dating coach. I go, no, you're not. What are you selling? I teach people how to find the love of their life. What are you selling? And we went for that for like 20 minutes. What she's selling is hope, right? Hope to find the love of their life, or hope or love, right? It's a feeling, it's an experience. Even if they go through her training and they don't find the love of their life, they don't find the soulmate, there's still an experience of hope potentially that she's going to be related to, therefore, AK getting paid for, right? If not, it's a matchmaking service. So for you, I love that what you're selling is really that experience from the door to the car. What is that? What is that experience? Could you put your finger on it? Or what do you tell your clients?
So what I tell them is what you're doing on the floor and what you're doing in your parents' viewing area or lobby or whatever has to lead up to the end result of somebody walking out the door and answering the most important question in the world. The most important question, because every single one of our clients gets this question. You know what the question is?
What?
So how was it? Right? So when somebody asks your client, how was it? Do they say,
honey?
OMFG, it was unfreaking believable. This place is awesome. I learned this. My coach is awesome. They gave me a cool high five. I love this. The place is clean. It doesn't smell like feet. Doesn't smell like chalk. And oh, by the way, you should come too. You should come too. Right? One begets the next. Now I've had people say, well, that's Jason, that's unrealistic. You're not going to make a kid happy all the time. You're absolutely right. Some kids don't make the team. Some kids get injured. Some people, aren't happy with a correction.
Right.
If you shape every single experience in the doing of the thing with the goal of answering that question at the end, everything wins. So maybe you need to make a correction. Great. What system do you implement to correct so that they still leave with the fact that there was discipline versus punishment, that there was support versus being mocked?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, it's interesting because you have two in your world, which is so brilliant. You have two clients. You have the child and the experience of the child, right? And then you have the parent who actually is the one that writes the check, or parents. And then you're dealing with maybe divorced parents, or maybe you're dealing with one parent, So there's like three people involved versus like a regular entrepreneur. It's just consumer entrepreneur, and so only one person writes the check, or even in corporate America where it's a different conversation too. You're dealing with almost potentially at least two, if not three.
Correct. Three
parents, people, human brains you have to engage with at a level that they are happy or content or satisfied. It's not just one.
You just hit it on the satisfaction perspective.
Yeah.
I've had people, and listen, my daughter went to dance when she was young. It was a dreadful experience. Absolutely dreadful. I love my daughter. She's a wonderful gymnast. She has the natural rhythm of a drunk gorilla. So dance was not her bag. However, they stuck me in this room with like Vogue magazines from 1974, closed the window, and didn't permit me the opportunity to consume the product that I was paying for.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, this is good. This is so great because this can really open people's doors, brains. All right, I was in dance, okay, and we had the dance room, okay, and the parents were allowed to come into this one room, and they had this little window, and you can't see me,
with a curtain,
about maybe a foot like that, and you saw all these little heads like this, and there wasn't a space for all the kids. If there's like 20 kids, there wasn't space for 20 adults, So it's like they're fighting in the other side for the little space, and that's crazy. That's so crazy.
Let's think about that, right? Like if you have a business that is client-based versus customer-based, and there's a very big differential there. If it's client-based and you're there to truly protect the relationship and protect them, they're under your protection, you want the opportunity for somebody to actually consume the product they're paying for.
Yeah.
And if they're not consuming it in a way that you think they should consume it, you have to provide the opportunity for them to consume it in a way that they want to consume it.
Mm-hmm.
So like I had our folks go out and get coffee bars. And you would not believe the hate mail I got. You're telling me that I have to provide free coffee for all these people? I'm going to charge them. No, you're not.
No, you're not. You're going to get more people there. I always think about, because where I live in Austin, I'm literally right next to Zilker Park. And Zilker Park is an everyday 5 o'clock, no matter what day the week is, Saturday and Sunday, it's soccer. Soccer. There's a ton of soccer. From 5-year-olds to, everything in between. And especially the kid ones, what do you see? You see the parents kind of creating their own little like social event out of the soccer. Like, here we are. Okay, we're going to bring our cooler. We're going to bring our stuff. But then they get to talk amongst themselves. And oh, by the way, little Jerry and Sarah, oh, look, they're fine. Oh, we saw them. They good, honey, you kicked something, but they are consuming the product they're paying for and they're enjoying themselves. You know what I mean?
And making them, the minute you transform something from a transactional relationship to a pleasure-based relationship, now I have folks who say, I can't wait to go. I remember I ran a martial arts academy for years in Massachusetts, and I remember when I came in and there were two parents sitting in my parents' viewing area, and I didn't see their kids there. I'm like, what are you doing here? They're like, you know what? Sometimes this is on the way home from work. So his dad pulled in, literally went and grabbed a cup of coffee, and was just sitting down and decompressing with two of his friends whose kids also go there. And I'm like,
became a social event, right? We'll meet you at the studio, right? Because it's a safe place and they can watch their kids or one of their kids. And
I guess the alternative is going to a bar or whatever. But yeah, it's just giving folks the opportunity to make sure they're actually consuming what you're providing for them. And I've had people even within some of my coaching businesses where they're like, I consume differently. Like they don't want to attend this, that, or the next thing, but they do want to consume in another way, shape, or form. So be it. Allow people the opportunity to consume the product they're buying.
Oh my God, there's so much there. Something I'm noticing in the newer, because there's a lot of new construction here in Austin. Every time we turn around, there's new construction. And there's things I'm noticing, like specifically with doggy places where, you have doggy daycare. There's one. Another one is dentists. If they have the ability to create the structure from scratch, like they're not walking into an old space, what I'm noticing is even with the doggy daycare, they're having like these huge windows so people can just watch their dog. Dentists. When I grew up in dentist world, remember when I was 5 years old, it was this dark room and there was like no windows, and the door would close.
Scary as all hell. Yeah.
It was very like this. Now I'm sitting there in my dentist chair. It's completely open. I could hear everything. I can see the doctor going in between. There's no walls. I can see outside. People can see me. It's just this kind of transparency. But at the same time, it makes me as a consumer go, oh, look, there's somebody else getting the same thing. They're happy. They're dealing well. You know what I mean? It kind of it also puts the spotlight on the people who work there. You can't have someone mean to a client over there and it not here. Everyone has to be this big transparency.
Open kitchen concept, right? You go into a restaurant, you see what's going on.
Yeah, you can. Oh, I love the chef. I love that's my fave. There's a place here in Austin where you can get the chef. You could literally be on the line with them and you can watch them. I wonder how that's like for them. I'm sure that's a pain in the butt. But I love it. I love watching a chef, a real chef, like a really good chef cook. Why? Because I cannot cook. Believe me, ask any ex-boyfriend, they're like, you suck, stay away from the kitchen. But at least I experience it. So if I had a kid who was doing drill team or dance or soccer, I'm not good at those things. So I would like to see how they're progressing because I'm paying for it. You know what I mean? Like I'm paying for it. I want to consume it. I never thought about that. You want to have the person who's paying for it consume it, even though they're not the one doing it.
Well, and I think the mindset in many of the after-school worlds always been, well, the parents are a pain in the ass, but they're a necessary evil because they pay. And what I find is that, well, they're actually not a pain in the ass if you treat them like a client. If, however, you treat them like a pain in the ass, they will rise or fall to that expectation. So yeah, I think delivering on the promise is huge, and then letting folks know that, it's not just about the one thing, because people will come into a business regardless of what it is. And they already have a set criteria of how they're going to judge whether or not you're good or not. When you give them a different set of criteria, that in addition to our amazing classes, you're also going to be made to feel right at home here. We've got free coffee, we've got Wi-Fi set up, and obviously you can check out your classes. And I've had people say, oh, my building, it doesn't allow for a parent's viewing area. Well, great. Stick them in a room, get a TV, get a closed circuit camera, and they can still watch and consume. Either way, as long as they get that opportunity. I'm not saying they actually have to be sitting next to their kid.
Right. But they have to be able to consume it.
Yeah. And if you think about like what any entrepreneur, what your business is, are people truly consuming? If not, what are they not consuming? Are they not consuming because it's unnecessary? It's just like extra crap that you put in there? Or do they not even know it exists? That's a bigger window.
What do you mean by that? Never doesn't know it exists. What do you mean by?
I feel like most businesses are losing money because their clients don't know some of the services they offer.
Oh, that's a big one. Yeah. They don't actually expand on. Okay, good example. My dentist. I'm going to go back to that. I have literally. I actually just changed dentist. This is not my new dentist. If he's listening, it's my older one. I would sit in the chair. Here he is. I mean, think about it. I'm sitting in his chair. I don't have my cell phone. I'm completely focused on my teeth. Right. I'm just focused. I'm sitting there. You should be selling me stuff. I do want teeth whitening. I have actually asked him to sell it to me multiple times, and he does such a horrible job, I won't buy it. I have asked him, well, what's the latest and greatest in dentistry? There's got to be some new thing, right? He's like, not much. So, and then I had to have the front desk person tell me about their newest and greatest like whitening or something. But the fact to me, I'm just because I'm a salesperson and I'm a pain in the butt, because the dentist didn't like sell me and I wanted to be sold, I didn't buy it. So horrible. But it happens everywhere. When I actually had, this is where my direct response marketing came in. When I was with my ex, we had two chiropractic offices and a weight loss company inside of one of them. And so we had 2 locations. And one of the first things I did is they had these, one of them had a TV there, it was sitting there. So the first thing I did was I put a TV in both, flat screen. When you walk in, you see this big flat screen. And the first thing I did is create commercials for all of our products and services. And it spun all day. And it was like a 5-minute, and it was a big old commercial so even if they're in the other location that had weight loss and the other location only had chiropractic, right? I was still selling the weight loss because it's the same client, and we had supplements, we had products, we had services, we had all these things, and this commercial just looped. I'll never forget one day I walked in and it wasn't on. So the challenge you have to come up with that is the employees. The employees get sick of it. Right? The employees, he was like, so what? It's not on. I'm like, there's 4 people here. They're sitting here in complete silence. And that is 4 people that I could be selling products to. Right? I'm like, and there's a website, and we tell them they could be buying the products sitting in this chair. So it's an ongoing conversation. Like, what are your products? And because the business owner is in it every day, they assume all their clients know what their products are. And what's interesting about that is when I put that up there, all the clients were like, we had no idea that you did all that, and then boom, you had sales increase.
Yeah. I mean, if you find, this is actually an interesting speaking point. If you find that your staff isn't on board and doesn't understand, and more often than not, your staff doesn't understand because they actually haven't been clued in. I don't believe that staff is inherently bad. I do believe that we probably don't tell staff enough to help them understand why that commercial has a loop. And actually, in fact, that the upsells done from that commercial is what pays your salary.
Yeah. Yes.
So if you're having a challenge with that commercial, learn to tune it out.
Mm-hmm.
If not, there are way other places that you can work. But
when I started with them and I started training the staff on sales, because we had the average customer buy, right, when they came in, purchase for chiropractic was $70, right? And that was sometimes out of pocket, sometimes not paying insurance, but $70. However, once we started doing supplements and I started to train them, we never said, do you want supplements? Because the answer was always no. But instead, we trained them. They'd have the supplements on the desk all the time. And they would say, hey, Jason, these 2 products the doctor recommended for you. Here you go. Let me go ahead and add that to your bill. And now our average sale went from $70 to $170, sometimes $185 per person. And that changes and revolutions in areas of business. Same customer. And some of those customers have been with us for 10 years and 5 years, 4 years, and they had never,
they're the same as you at your dentist's office going, what's new?
Yeah. And of course he's like, oh, nothing.
No, I get it.
I mean, I'm totally dissing him and whatever.
Well, what a great opportunity though. Like when I think about my clients, when they come in, what's your front desk staff doing? Are they modeling and wearing, new gear, new this, new that?
Yeah.
Like, So cool. I love these. I think we have these in your size. Did you want me to grab one?
The other thing is uniforms. Do you suggest that for your clients to have uniforms for your themselves and employees? Yeah,
absolutely. Again, it's all that image sensory package. So
tell us about that. Can you go down that world at all?
Yeah, sure. I believe that as part of a business's success, there's got to be a particular look and feel, right? Because again, you think about what it looks like and feels like when you walk into Walmart versus what it looks and feels like when you walk into Nordstrom's. Completely different experience. And you're already preset and predisposed to pay more with one versus the other.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So understanding that one of the big challenges I had at my martial arts school was, what was my staff wearing? I was always worried, would it be inappropriate? I remember I always hired high school girls for my front desk, and they were always fabulous. And I remember coming in one day and I'm like, I couldn't understand why all the dads were gathered around the front desk.
I know where this is going.
Yeah. So one of my front desk girls looked like she was going clubbing. She had a black bra on and like a mesh shirt like over it. And for some reason, all of a sudden, all the dads were asking questions at the front desk. Right?
What time are y'all open?
Yeah. It was funny because I'm like, okay, you need to go home right now. Or better yet, go into the staff area. Here's a shirt. And that, for me, started, okay, what does my staff look like? What does, again, the end result of somebody coming in, imagine, let's just think about that experience. So you've got a bunch of dads there.
Mm-hmm.
Now the mom decides to show up at the school as well, or gym as well. What is the mom's experience walking from our facility to the car?
Right.
Does she now think that I can't wait till they hit my credit card again?
Mm-mm.
No, because she's thinking about buying a large hammer to smack her husband with.
Right.
So it's really an important thing. So I believe, you have to think about, like, what's your brand? What's your look? What's your feel? It's got to be congruent, right? If you're in Miami, you probably shouldn't have people in turtlenecks, right? It's got to be congruent with who you are and what you are, and have everything be consistent. So the front desk should look like the front desk. The instructional staff should look like the instructional staff. Uniform is great because it takes away the need to be stylistic and individualistic.
Yeah.
And then goof it up, because most people will.
Right. Exactly. That's awesome. That makes sense to me. I think that's a really important piece, especially if you're a local business owner, that everyone should have the same outfit. I know that's annoying for people that are employees, but I think it's really important. We made our chiropractic client, our employees do it, and it helped sales. Everyone knew who everyone was. I just went to my chiropractor today, different chiropractor, and it's all over the place. I have no idea who works there. They don't even have name tags. If you're going to let them wear whatever they want, they at least should have name tags so we know who's what. It's just a simple thing. It's all about commitment and consistency, which is a principle of influence. Okay, so as we wrap it up here, if people are really interested in working with you, or how can they work with you, or tell us more about what. So
I do one of the things that I've started over the last 2 years doing with entrepreneurs is doing a full-out half-day in-person deep dive. And what we do is we go through and we rip apart the current business structure as you have it, look at all the systems that you've got, evaluate those systems, and then basically prescribe new systems to get you to the goals you've set for yourself.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. That means it's a 1 day in person at your in.
Yeah, we come to my office in New Jersey. It is a hardcore 4 hours. So it's one of those things. I've had people say, "Oh, can I do a full day?" You don't want to do a full day.
Yeah, you don't want to do a full day.
It's the goal. I mean, I'll do it, but you don't want to. We found that, within that 4 hours, there's usually 4 to 5 key systems that most businesses are missing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pretty easily identifiable once we can cut through this is really what's happening. Because, there's pre-work we do before, there's some calls we do before, and, usually we'll get there and they're like, oh, well, I didn't tell you about this, 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 and this. Because as I'm looking through the numbers, there are an awful lot of diagnostic questions to go through and say, all right, well, tell me about the system. Tell me about your lead generation system. Tell me about your lead conversion systems. Tell me about some of your retention or client retention systems that you've got. And people say, oh, I don't really have those. All right, well, then let's take the next 20 minutes and chart out, here's the goal. Here's how we get there. We just back our way into what those numbers are going to be and what those systems need to be.
Okay, got it. Great. So they can go check that out. At what website did they go to for that?
Best place to go is jasonmsilverman.com or message me over on Facebook, and I can walk you through anything that you need.
So that is jasonmsilverman.com, silverman.com.
Man.com, yes.
Thank you so much for being here. This is a lot of fun for round 2. We'll do it again in a couple of years.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. It's fabulous.
Every 3 years. Like, hey, how you doing? This is good. I really appreciate it. I think honestly having consistent contributors on shows, I think is actually a good thing. They do that on cable news every day. Like, oh, well, look, somebody's here. Oh, the guest that was here last week. But the reason I think that is it kind of creates a consistency. I think it's fun. It's actually fun, and you kind of find out what's happening in the real time with other entrepreneurs. So I absolutely love that. So thank you. Being here. So go check him out at jasonmsilverman.com. Also Facebook, same thing, facebook.com/Jason M. Silverman. Go check him out and go check out my podcast on his show, The Real Deal with Jason M. Silverman and Heather Havenwood. All right, guys, this is Heather Havenwood. You can check me out at heatherhavenwood.com. Hey, it's Heather. Is your digestion feeling off? Are you often hungry even though you're eating enough and taking supplements? Are you struggling to burn off that last bit of stubborn fat that will not go away no matter how hard you diet or exercise? I guess I'm talking about myself here. See, it might be your gut. It was mine. That's why I am so excited to announce that P3OM, the Navy SEAL of probiotics, is now available at energywithheather.com. Look, tens of thousands of real people, including myself, has used P3OM to manage constipation, bloating, gas, acid reflux, abdominal pain, and much more. Look, as you'll learn when you go to energywithheather.com, P3OM uses unique and patent strand that has been proven in lab tests to deliver the right bacteria to your gut, so your body has what it needs to let go of all that fat. So look, what are you waiting for? Go to energywithheather.com. That's energywithheather.com.
Thank you for listening to The Win with Heather Havenwood. Interested in coaching with Heather? Go to heatherhavenwood.com and sign up for a business discovery consultation. Here is your free gift for listening. Get 3 audio chapters of Heather's book, Sexy Boss, How Women Empowerment is Changing the Rulebook, when you text the word sexy to 72000. Again, text the word sexy, that is SEXY, to 72000 and receive your 3 audiobook chapters. Number is good only in North America. This is a Sexy Boss Wrap. This podcast is a copyright of Havenwood Worldwide, LLC.